Alright, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. I just repotted this ficus about 2.5 months ago. This is a Ficus Microcarpa. It's commonly referred to as a Ginseng Ficus, but it's not one. And there's no such thing as a Ginseng Ficus. It's also commonly referred to as a Ficus retusa. I guess there is a such thing as that, but they're not really available in North America. It's just a misnamed product. But what these are is actually, real quick, they take a microcarpa, they grow it from seed. It gets the really big fat bulbous roots the way that they grow it. They cut off the top and then they graft a smaller leaf variety on top, and then that's what you've got. Really kind of very common, hard to get a really nice looking refined bonsai out of it, but rather than throwing it away, I decided to go ahead and try to put this guy over a rock. I think it's looking pretty good. Definitely an improvement from just the bulbous roots in a pot or whatever, so I'm going to roll with it. When I did repot it, it's been, like I said, it's been about 2.5 months. I didn't defoliate it. I took the wire off, and I think I just maybe pruned a couple of branches. I guess I could have looked at the video to see what I did, but I don't think I pruned all that much or anything. I left all the growing tips intact so that it would just kind of push out some roots. And you can even see it's pushing out some aerial roots in here, kind of coming out of some of those scars. Maybe I'll try to show you a little bit better at the end, because at the end I'm probably going to defoliate it and wire the whole thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here first. Sometimes when I go to wire something like this is actually, I don't know, it's funny that, you know, they put this smaller leafed microcarpa on top, and like everybody always calls it, you know, tiger bark or, you know, whatever. But I think that this is different from some of the other ones that I have. It doesn't grow nearly as quickly. Definitely has some different habits. Since this is grafted, this thing basically has kind of almost 3 trunks to it. Very hard to get organized here and everything. But whenever I do take anything similar to this, sometimes before I wire it, I'll just take and hedge prune the entire thing. And then sometimes by the time I'm done with it, I realize I really don't have all that much left to wire. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get in here and just kind of slowly remove some unwanted branches first before I just start, you know, collectively hedge pruning everything. And then maybe I can get a little bit of a better view of as to what I've got, what I'm going to wire. I'm going to try to wire every branch today, so anything I'm not going to wire, I'm just going to prune off. And so what I'm going to do first is just kind of get some of that straight up growth that you don't want taken out. Some of these branches that are kind of growing into the other branches taken out. This one, I mean, like here already, I have this long branch that I just cut 2 big, you know, or not big, but there were pieces coming out of the top. I can already see it a little bit better. I will eventually cut the tips off here. We have some wild growth here. Alright, so I went through and I got all the branches that I didn't want and that were kind of breaking the rules, growing straight up, or just kind of, you know, not looking very pleasing. And of course, sometimes what's left doesn't look all that pleasing either. You guys aren't getting a close-up look I am. It's just kind of pretty wild how it just comes out of these grafted spots. It's actually got almost 4 trunks. Not really trunks, but just main branches. I almost took this one off just because it's kind of really awkwardly coming out of the side there. But I mean, my final goal, I mean, you know, my final goal is I want everything kind of wired down. I mean, you know, obviously it's got a lot more bushing out to do, but I kind of want it down to where the canopy is going to kind of end here and bring us some attention to the rocks so you actually really notice the rocks, so I don't wind up with, you know, all of the foliage way up here and it's not, you know, kind of taken away from the rock and everything. But we'll see how this goes. I'm now going to defoliate and make sure I cut off every tip. And just a quick reminder again, it is, you know what, first week of September here or whatever, but I am in Florida. If I was anywhere else, I wouldn't be defoliating like this. I mean, I don't know, I guess some people actually do defoliate when they bring their trees inside, but I don't ever bring mine inside, so like I just don't really know what, you know, how to handle that or whatever, but we're still, you know, 88 for our highs and 78 for our lows. I can work these trees for quite a bit longer. We do get a little period. I try not to do much in December and January, but I still work them hard this time of year. And I keep mine outside all year long too, so some things that I do that may not be a great idea for everybody. Alright, some trees are like women. When you get them naked, they look much better. This tree is like an old man. I got it naked and it looks a lot worse. But I know I said I was going to put wire on every branch. There are a couple I'm going to have to skip. This one, I'm going to get some wire on the main branch, but these two little branches out here are just so spindly. I mean, I have wire that small, but I'm just going to try to get that one down. Anyway, I'm going to wire it up. When it leaves back up, it should look good again. Really not much to it right now. And so there we are, all wired up. Not giving it the greatest look for right now at the very moment, but I do believe once this thing leaves back out, it should be just fine. And got a little more dramatic movement in there. When I recorded that earlier bit of this video here, it was September 6th. Today's September 22nd. So it's been about 16 days, a little over 2 weeks. And I just kind of decided at the end of that video that it was a little bit of an ugly duckling with all the leaves off of it and everything. And you can see it's just starting to recover here. Lots of nice, really small leaves on it. And I do believe once this thing kind of canopies back out, it should look really nice. Those smaller leaves on there. And of course, they'll get bigger over time. But then, you know, before the canopy was way up here, now it will be a little more centered around the rock. I'd actually like to make it one day to where it's just kind of have the bottom of the canopy here, and you can't really see all these ugly roots here. You'll just be able to see the roots around the tree, or around the rock, sorry. And then I'll probably go ahead and maybe try to lift it up a little bit more, just kind of depending on how these roots kind of wrap around the bottom of the rock now that I have it in the better container.